Venice, Italy, a city renowned for its winding canals, striking architecture and wonderful bridges. I'm Valentina Clemente, and this is the perfect setting to host a discussion on how robots and automation are transforming architecture and the global construction industry. Venice is the home of the iconic Biennale di Venezia, host of Biennale Architettura 2021, curated by Hashim Sakis. One of the featured exhibits is called The Magic Queen and was created by Austrian architectural firm MAEID. The Magic Queen incorporates ABB robots and AI technology. It's this collaboration that's the driving force behind our discussion today. So let's take a look. And to tell us more about architecture and automation and what brings them together, I'm now joined by the co-creator and director of The Magic Queen from MAEID, Daniela Mitterberger.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Pierpaolo Rutti, co-founder of INDEXLAB, a leading design and innovation research lab based in Italy.
Hello, thank you.
And ABB Robotics managing director for General Industry, Andrea Cassoni.
Hello, Valentina.
Thank you all for joining us today. So, Daniela, I'm coming first to you for my first question. So, talk us through the exhibit and why did you decide to focus on a foundation of automation?
Magic Queen is a project that we really see as a new prototype of architecture and what architecture could be. Magic Queen is a 3D printed soil structure that was printed on site at the Arsenale before the exhibition started. We actually used soil from Mestre, from here, and we brought the robots, and the whole idea is that you can bring the robots on site and you can construct the whole structure on site directly. The whole structure is completely biodegradable. That means we focused a lot on sustainability in combination with robotic fabrication. The combination of very organic materials, novel sensor systems, AI, and robotic fabrication was something that was really driving this project, kind of foreseeing what we could do, focusing on all these aspects and what kind of architecture we could create in the future with it.
So why and what does the Magic Queen show us in terms of how robots can be used in new and, above all, innovative ways?
So we have two main key factors where we use the robots. The first one was for additive manufacturing, so the process of producing it, 3D printing it. And the second part where we use the robots was actually now during the exhibit in monitoring and observing the structure, where we use AI technology in actually starting to understand what is happening on the structure. And the robot is actually also caring for the structure, which means it's watering it, it's becoming a robotic gardener and caring for its own creation.
The exhibit features two ABB robots producing a large-scale robotically 3D printed biodegradable landscape. So why were ABB the right partners?
ABB was the right partner because first we used already ABB robots a lot in our practice and also during teaching at different universities. ABB is a very pioneering company. And it was great to work with them together because it's a very cutting-edge project. It's a very radical project. And it was great to have a partner such as ABB to support us in such an endeavor because I think, especially with the Magic Queen, you can really see what you can do if you have a vision and a great partner that can work along it. And of course, they have great robots.
So we've touched on innovation and robotics. Pierpaolo, I'm coming to you. So your research lab, INDEXLAB, merges art and engineering to create some truly inspiring projects. So what place does automation have in both architecture and architectural designs?
Yes, first of all, I would say that today we are facing a revolution in architecture. And this is thanks to computational design. What we saw Daniela presented, it's a great example of this. Meaning that nowadays architects, engineers, and artists design with algorithms. And so it's not the way we used to think of architecture. So it's a totally radically new approach, and I strongly believe that robots are the perfect match between this new kind of design and the built environment, because we can streamline basically the algorithm from the computer to the machine and build. And it's absolutely amazing, and it's a revolution nowadays.
So how have ABB Robotics, for example, enabled you to deliver some of your groundbreaking projects and designs?
Yes, we have a long collaboration with ABB, and basically we started with 10 years ago with a pretty advanced project. We want to build a facade with robots, and it was weird for that time because we proposed this new method, and we came up with a new construction system in the end. And so now is what we do at INDEXLAB is inventing new construction systems. So basically we team up with forward-looking companies, and we find way to make this mass customization possible. And yeah, the mass customization, I think, is the key word. So robots are perfect because they're flexible and adaptable.
Thank you very much, Pierpaolo. And now I'm coming to you, Andrea. So why do you think there is a growing trend with more customers embracing automation in architecture and construction?
The construction industry is at a tipping point. Actually, probably they are in the perfect storm right now. On one side, a growing market driven by the increase of population, urbanizations. On the other side, a major shortage of labor and skills. Actually, it's almost a crisis. That's how our customers describe it. All this in combination with the need for finding more productivity, efficiencies, more sustainable construction, but also keep the customization there. So it's a pretty complex situation, and we believe that automation and robotics can help a lot to address many of those challenges. And no matter if you're talking about moving some of the building from site to off-site, so in factory-like type of environment, or more robots on-site. Clearly, architects will play a very relevant role in this transformation, as Pierpaolo was saying, but also because they see projects at early stage, so they can really drive and guide for a new and different type of construction, thinking more in terms of automation, software, and robotization as well.
Thank you very much. Let's move forward because we have another guest. He's the CEO and co-founder of Autovol, who, with the help from ABB, are pioneering a new kind of modular construction. Rick Murdoch, thanks for joining us today. How are you?
Hi, Valentina. Thanks for having me. I'm doing just fine.
My first question, so Rick, with the help of ABB, how is Autovol transforming traditional construction methods?
You know, with the help of ABB through House of Design Robotics, we are changing the way we do construction and manufacturing. We've gone into an automated robotics system today where our machines are carrying the heavy lifting that people used to do. We get the precision out of the automation and the robotics that we've never had before, and we're getting the speed out of those same robotics that we've never had in the past as well. So overall, it's really bringing the precision in and then reducing our time to market and time to build.
What are the benefits of robotic prefabrication?
Prefabrication has many benefits. One of the benefits is precision and the ability to build ahead of things. So with automation and robotics, we're able to get the precision out of each one of our builds. Again, we're able to take the heavy lifting off of people, and the speed of which to build is increased. And it gives us the opportunity to build a building while the developer is developing his site, so that once that site is ready, the building is ready, and it can lower the time of construction as much as 40%.
So let's continue with the prefabrication, and I'm coming back to you, Pierpaolo. So how have you incorporated prefabrication in your work?
Yeah, as I said before, we work with the companies, so we prototype new construction systems, and we came up with some new ideas, and then we patented, we developed with the company. And one, for instance, is hot wire cutting of foam and thermoforming in order to obtain molds in a cost-effective way. And this led to start building facade out of new materials, for instance, experimental materials with a kind of a robotic touch, where basically we are able to do something that the humans cannot do. So with the robot, we can do different things. And this is what gives a competitive advantage to the company interested in investing in prefabrication.
Andrea, I'm coming to you because it's very clear that within your role, you see businesses using ABB robots in a different variety of ways. So how diverse are the potential applications for ABB robots when looking at the benefits of prefabrication?
When we move from site to off-site, part of the buildings, basically we bring the buildings into an environment which are factories or manufacturing, which is exactly where robots and automations are at home. And this is where we can actually do the knowledge transfer that we are doing. So bringing applications, know-how, solutions that we have developed, apply, and broadly used in actually most of the other industries into manufacturing. So we can have a number of examples, but actually we're just scratching the surface for now. For example, when you do steel frame for modular housing, we weld, inspect, assemble them. When we work on timber structure for modules or for roof trusses, we cut, drill, machine, glue them. All technologies and applications which are coming from other industries and now can be transferred into the construction one.
Now I'm coming back to you, Rick, because I have another question for you. So why do you believe that automation and robotics will help transform the construction of global housing initiatives in the future?
I think that automation and robotics will help change the way we do construction all across the globe. I know that, again, we're dealing with human resources. We're dealing with human capital. We don't have the education we used to have in construction. We don't have the youth that we used to have in construction. We don't have the skill sets and the numbers that we used to have in construction with our workforce. All those things have changed. So automation and robotics, it answers the questions for that. It gives us the skill sets. It gives us the timing. It takes the heavy lifting off people. And there's a demand for housing all across the world, from my experience, and each one is in just as dire need as the next. So I really do think that automation and robotics is something that's going to change our construction process across the globe.
Thank you very much, Rick Murdoch, for being with us today.
Thanks for having me. Until next time.
And from Idaho, United States, we head over to Vancouver in Canada, where our next guest firmly believes that by embracing automation in construction, you no longer have to choose between speed, quality, or cost. And this is Intelligent City. And now joining us from Vancouver, Canada, it's Intelligent Cities co-founder and CEO Oliver Lang. Oliver, how are you?
I'm great. Hi, Valentina. Hi, guys. Really great to be here with everybody. Thank you for having me.
So, Oliver, what has been the impact of working with ABB Robotics?
So working with ABB has provided us really with fundamental advancement for the integration of our technologies. We're a housing technology company with the mission to build smarter and to empower people to live better and to create carbon neutral solutions to address climate change. And so when we started out on our journey to look at sort of a design for manufacturing approach, integrating between our mass timber building systems and high-rise housing issues, our in-house end-to-end software and manufacturing automation, we really decided we needed to involve a company like ABB and advanced robotics as really an invaluable part of what we're trying to do to vertically integrate both processes and knowledge, innovation, and technologies overall.
When we look at traditional construction methods, it's often the case that projects can overrun in time, materials, but also cost. So how does automation and a modular approach will help solve these issues?
Yeah, very true. I mean, our industry is still service-based and we're still creating bespoke one-off buildings, and that doesn't really help to address, cost escalations and all the fragmentation problems in our industry. Automation and prefabrication can really help by introducing economies of scale, better quality control, enabling better building performance, and allow us really to create everything from a consistent technology platform, and a product approach, which is really important as long as we make sure it's scalable and adaptable in the varying needs of varying markets.
Likewise, when it comes to quality and design, what are the benefits of a modular mass timber approach?
So we started Intelligent City as an architectural firm because we wanted to be able to deliver better buildings overall. And mass timber and modularity have some distinct advantages, allow us a pathway towards carbon neutral buildings today. As you know, timber sequesters carbons while it grows. It's a renewable resource, it's high performing, it's lightweight, and importantly for automation, it's machinable. So it allows an integration between the material modularity and automation that we're striving to be able to deliver that consistency on the one side and the repeatability, and then on the other side, the scalability and the adaptability. So the combination of these are absolutely key for what we do.
Daniela, you have discovered efficiencies while working with ABB robots and automation within your work.
Definitely. The work of, for instance, Magic Queen would have not been possible without robotic fabrication. Our design process is very much linked to the robotic fabrication process. So the design is very intricate, and something like this would have not been possible to do by hand, for instance.
Pierpaolo.
Yeah, I'm just adding, a robot can do two things very well: follow some toolpath trajectories and doing it very fast. And it's not possible by hand, and so the robot is super efficient and perfect to perform these tasks.
Andrea, clearly you have a varied portfolio of robots that can help across the diverse challenges within construction. So where do you believe ABB and automation as a whole can best support the global construction industry in delivering greater efficiencies?
Well, robots helps improve efficiency in a number of ways, but probably we can try to summarize by looking at two dimensions. One is the material and material saving. Studies shows that something up to 25% of the material shipped to site end up in waste, which is an enormous and unsustainable amount. So by using robots, this can be very significantly reduced. One reason is because you just use the right material that is needed. Think of 3D printing. The other one is because you improve your processes, the risk of making mistakes, redoing work, or waste material because of errors gets very significantly reduced. Not to mention the effect on the transportation cost. The second dimension is time. And we've heard it already from some of the other panelists, but the time to build gets very significantly cut. Some of our customers talks about up to 30%. So clearly this has a major impact on efficiency, and it's because of the way you manufacture parts of the building, but also because of the speed of the transfer of information and the precision. So from computational design to the manufacturing part, basically there is no time gap. It starts instantaneously, and this helps a major cut in timing.
Oliver, what do you think the future holds for Intelligent City and its continued automation with ABB? And what would you say to companies out there considering automation?
Yeah, so automation is really essential to what we do right now. We're looking at urban growth centers right now where we see a lot of population growth, and we're overlaying that with an adoption for high-rise mass timber regulation. And so in our delivery of our components right now, we're getting our current manufacturing plant ready. We're really excited that it'll be open by this summer using ABB equipment, and from there be able to scale into these marketplaces. And I can only strongly recommend for everybody in the industry to change their thinking and look at the power of automation like it's been pioneered in many other industries except our construction sector.
Thanks, Oliver. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Valentina. It's been really great to be here. Thanks for having me.
So looking to a brighter future, is there an even wider scope for automation in construction? Well, to help answer that question, we are heading to Sweden to meet our final guest, Ulf Åkesson, Technical Manager of Skanska. And now joining us remotely, please welcome Ulf Åkesson. Ulf, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you, Valentina. It's great to be here and participating in this very interesting discussion.
Ulf, we have already discussed the efficiencies offered by robotics and automation in construction, but now I'd like to look at some of the wider benefits. So let's start with safety. It is estimated that construction workers are up to 4 times more likely to be killed at work than in other sectors. So when it comes to workplace safety, how has automation and the support of ABB Robotics helped?
When it comes to safety and automation, it's very crucial that we can automate certain tasks where you have a lot of injuries. And what we have seen when it comes to rebar cages is that it entails work that actually people should not be doing, and where it will be very difficult to find resources in the future. So it's perfect for using robots and automation.
Andrea, let's talk more about safety. So when it comes to the use of automation both on and off-site, how can robots help deliver a safer working environment?
That's another very important point. You just said it, Valentina, this industry suffer of a rate of accident and unfortunately also fatality which is way above industrial average. Robots can definitely help. First of all, generally speaking, if we move some of the activities from site to off-site, you bring the activity into a controlled environment, so less risk, for example, of working at heights. You remove the weather risk, so whichever weather is out there is irrelevant in a factory. Robots can be, of course, used for the non-ergonomically friendly actions, for example, lifting heavy weights for a long period of time. And off-site, robot fits well in difficult conditions. A good example here is what Schindler, the leading elevator company, is doing. They are using robots now to scan and drill holes into the elevator shaft. That's a difficult environment, again, at heights. in narrow spaces. So this is the areas in which robot really fits very well.
Thank you, Andrea. Ulf, I'm coming back to you for another question. So a recent survey showed us that 91% of construction businesses globally believe that industry faces a so-called skills crisis over the next 5 to 10 years. At Skanska, how are you incorporating and bringing in automation to mitigate against this potential crisis?
Well, the crisis with resources is enormous, and by using robots instead of people and skilled labor that will not be available in the future, we have found that this is the only solution that we need to go forward with when it comes to automated construction. Because one thing is the shortage of skilled labor, another thing is that these tasks that we are doing, young people are not interested in doing them manually.
Thank you, Ulf. Pierpaolo, Daniela, what has your experience been like working with the ABB robots as part of an on-site team?
Yes, we've just finished a working prototype of a special robot that we mount on facade. Basically, we take an ABB robot and put it on a truss, and then let this truss move along the facade of a building. And we equip this robot with various tools. The robot can pick and place tiles and can mount cladding of building, customizing it. It can isolate the building, so it's a very good system for renovating old buildings, for instance, or to make them more efficient from an energy standpoint. And then this robot can also paint, so they are good for maintenance. They can clean. So it's a system basically that we have created and prototyped and tested, and it works. And it works in a new way. So we basically figure out also the way to program the robot so that the robot is in a way intelligent, meaning that it can understand the irregularities of the building. And the next step in the future will be to add artificial intelligence to that. So that will be, I think, the real challenge for the future. So how to let this robot become more intelligent.
Daniela, what about your experience?
Well, the whole Magic Queen was an on-site robotic process. So we had 3 months of experience on on-site fabrication. And I have to say it was an amazing experience. Our workflows so we developed a lot of custom algorithms, and they worked very well together with the software workflow that ABB is using, Robot Studio, for instance. And in the same time, parallel to the fabrication, we also had student workshops, because it was very important for us also to include students in such processes in on-site fabrication, and to show them that the robots are very well already part of architecture fabrication, and they are not far away from architects. And for us, it was very important to also have this in parallel. And yeah, it was a great experience, and I have to say it worked very smoothly.
Ulf, looking finally to a brighter future. So the world right now is very focused on sustainability and the future of society. So how can automation transform construction for the benefit of the global population?
When it comes to sustainability, what we have seen in this case, where what we are looking at with automated rebar cages with robotics, is that we can improve the efficiency of transports. We don't need to transport these cages by boat or truck from far outside Sweden. We can actually build the cages on site with robots, which will improve the climate impact.
Thank you very much, Ulf, for being with us today. And now I'm coming back to you, Andrea, to see ABB's goals for a sustainable future.
Well, we take sustainability very, very seriously. It's really part of our fundamental principle, it's part of our purpose. One of the reasons why we're here. We are a technology company that believes in a more productive future, but in a more sustainable future as well. So we set up some targets for us, for example, carbon neutrality by 2030 in all our premises. But maybe more importantly, we continue to deliver technologies to our customer so that they can achieve their sustainability targets. And so it's exciting, and we're glad to contribute, in that case, to the sustainability of the construction industry in a number of ways, which we just heard today.
Thank you very much, Andrea. And that brings us to the end of today's discussion here from Venice, Italy. A big thank you to our guests, Andrea Cassoni, Daniela Mitterberger, Pierpaolo Ruttico, Rick Murdoch, Oliver Lang, and Ulf Atkinson, plus all of you watching online. I hope today has helped inform you on the benefits of automation across architecture and construction. And if you're looking to embrace automation, please head over to ABB's Robotics website. But for now, from all of us here in Venice, thanks for watching and goodbye.